Alright, kids, are you ready to hear a story? Yeah.
Welcome to Witch Toast and Other Tales. This is the story of a Roman youth named Gaius Mucius. His retelling of events that took place in and around ancient Rome in the year 508 BC, as relayed by the historian Titus Livy in his History of Rome. In 509 BC, the people of Rome exiled their king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, and established the Roman Republic. The Etruscan king Lars Porsena was an ally of Tarquinius, and in an attempt to restore him to the throne, he laid siege to the city of Rome the following year, in 508 BC. The Roman Senate sent messengers to Porsena to negotiate a peace, but he refused them. Inside Rome, there was a group of 300 youth, the sons of noblemen, who were familiar with one another and trained together in the art of war, and were enraged to see their city and fellow citizens suffer the hardship and indignity of siege. And they were doubly enraged that its purpose was the reinstatement of a tyrant. So they gathered together and resolved themselves to action. After much discussion, they aspired to the assassination of Lars Porsena, the enemy king himself. By the casting of lots, they assigned to each one among them a number, from 1 to 300, and a youth named Gaius Mucius was assigned number 1. Gaius went before the Roman Senate and made his request, saying, "Senators, I wish to swim the river Tiber, to infiltrate the Etruscan camp, and, if the gods will it, to cut off the head of our enemy." The Senate considered his request and gave their consent. Gaius waited for a dark night, when the clouds covered the moon and stars. Then he hid a dagger beneath his tunic and slipped outside the city walls. He came to the river Tiber and waded out, then swam across and snuck up the bank on the far side. The Etruscan camp was not far, but Gaius went slowly and cautiously. The enemy had many guards, but he chose his path wisely and slipped past them. He entered the camp just as dawn broke. Making his way through the rows of tents, he came to the largest and most ornate, which he presumed to be the king's. Outside of the entrance, there was a raised platform and 2 finely dressed men sitting upon it. Before them was a large crowd of soldiers. Gaius watched as the soldiers approached the platform one at a time and received a small bag of coins. It seemed to be payday for the Etruscan soldiers, and Gaius knew one of these 2 men must be Lars Porsena, but he could not tell which, and he dared not ask. So he made his way to the front of the crowd and selected the man on the right as his target. Then he stepped forward and in one smooth motion pulled out his dagger and threw it. His aim was true. The dagger sunk deep in the chest of his target, the man on the right, and he fell forward dead. A great commotion ensued. Gaius turned and tried to escape, pushing his way through the crowd, but the royal guards came rushing in from all sides and seized him, then dragged him back before the dais and the second man who sat there still. Gaius realized he had made the wrong choice, and that the man before him was Lars Porsena, the Etruscan king, and that the man he killed must have been a high-ranking official. Porsena said, "Who are you to come and kill my counselor?" Gaius had failed his mission and was prisoner to his enemy, but he did not bow his head. He did not show fear, and Gaius held his head high, looked at Porsena, and declared, "I am a Roman citizen. Men call me Gaius Mucius. I am your enemy, and I came to kill you. I am as prepared to die as I am to kill. We Romans act bravely, and when we suffer bravely. I am not alone in having made this resolution against you. Behind me there is a long list of those who aspire to the same distinction. Prepare yourself. For every hour you will find an armed foe on the threshold of your tent. This is the war which we, the youth of Rome, declare against you. Fear no pitched battle. It will be between you alone and one of us." Porsena was enraged, livid at the murder of his trusted advisor and the threat to himself, but also concerned. After all, it was only a happy accident that this youth had chosen the wrong target. If not for that, he would be dead. He ordered a sconce to be brought near Gaius. The guards surrounded Gaius and the sconce with spears, and Porsena spoke. "Tell me all that you know of these plots against my life, or the word shall be burned out of you." To this, Gaius replied, "Watch and see how cheap is flesh to men whose eyes are on great glory." Then he thrust his right hand into the flames and held it there. Porsena's eyes widened, and he leaned forward, watching Gaius's hand as the skin blistered and peeled, as the flesh blackened, as the stench filled his nostrils. Something touched his foot, and Porsena looked down. The blood of his advisor pooled around his sandals. He looked again at the dagger in the dead man's chest, the blade meant for him, then back at the youth's self-immolated hand, charred and smoking, held still within the flame. And finally he looked upon this youth, this boy. Porsena studied his blank face, his proud posture. He looked into Gaius's cold, hard eyes. The eyes not of a boy, but a man. The eyes of a citizen of Rome. The eyes of his enemy. And in his mind he saw a city full of these eyes, and a chill went down his spine. The king's anger faded. He sat back and said, "Enough. You are free to go. Since you do more harm to yourself than you do to me, were you my countrymen, I would honor your courage. As it is, I send you away unharmed." To this, Gaius replied, "Since you honor courage, know that what you could not gain by threats you have obtained by kindness. 300 of us, the foremost amongst the Roman youth, have sworn to attack you in this way. The lot fell to me first. The rest, in the order of their lot, will come, each in his turn, until fortune has delivered you into our hands." And then Gaius returned to Rome. Soon after, Porsena sent ambassadors for peace. He sent them in good faith, and in good faith they were received. Not long thereafter, Porsena and the Romans made peace. The siege was lifted, and Rome was freed. For his great bravery, for his sacrifice and contribution to the Roman Republic and its people, Gaius was honored with the name Scaevola, which means left-handed. He was awarded an estate on the bank of the Tiber, which came to be known as the Mucian Meadows. The people of Rome never forgot his story, and thereafter all the youth of Rome were taught it, and aspired to possess so great a will as the great Gaius Mucius Scaevola. Moral of the story is this: great nations stay great only if they produce strong and patriotic citizens. That is why the tale of Gaius Mucius Scaevola was so important to the Romans. That is why the Roman Empire lasted 1,000 years. And any nation that would like to last half as long would do well to remember it. The end.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.